Welcome back to California Life Podcast. We continue talking about finance, health, insurances, and anything that brings well-being to the community. And today we have Ms. Alina Mukhopadhyay with us. And Alina, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be invited. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Alina, you're coming from Eastern Europe, and I've learned that you are half Romanian. So am I. Vorbim puțin românește?
Înțeleg puțin.
Okay, you have a slight American accent already. That's fun. So your dad is Romanian, as far as I know. How close you are with the culture, with the Romanian community?
Well, I was raised in Ukraine. I was born in Ukraine.
Which part?
Cernovцы.
That's Bucovina de Nord. Bucovina de Nord este România.
Yes, with all of that.
Yeah.
And my dad, during times in army, he ended up meeting my mom when he was serving time in army.
Okay.
And he spoke zero Ukrainian. They somehow met with just very, natural...
Mamaliga, mititei.
Mamaliga, something they triggered, and he ended up staying back in Ukraine. And that's how they met. And then, of course, all his family is all Romanian. So, of course, the food, the culture, the songs, and everything as a child, that was definitely part of my life.
Well, that's a beautiful culture. Have you sang any Romanian carol songs for Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Would you remember any of them?
Oh, my.
Steaua sus răsare.
Yeah, I couldn't sing them because it's been a long time. But carols is something we did as a children every year. Yeah. We would go to multiple charity, other homes, and carol away. And we continuously do it here. But here we do it in English. And it's actually, it carried on the family tradition for yearly must to do.
Which carol songs do you sing here?
Here we do more like Ukraine. I mean, we'll do... in Ukrainian ones, now.
No, what about Romanian? Do you continue singing Romanian?
Romanians, I wouldn't recognize them. That was a long time ago. Here, we kind of transitioned into Ukrainians, and of course the Americans we know.
Which English songs would you sing?
Oh, Holy Night.
Okay.
What else? Hold on, I'm going into Christmas mode right now. Give me a minute.
Why not?
I was like, it took me a while to pack up.
You didn't like much over there. You came to the U.S. Why Sacramento?
Well, Sacramento was not, I was 12 when I came to the United States. It wasn't really a choice of mine. I was with parents, and our family, they had brothers and uncles. They were already migrated in Sacramento. So, of course, it was due to persecution of religion and freedom rights. And when we migrated here, it's a major, major decision now that I'm an adult and I'm a parent. I realize what sacrifices my parents had to do to really make a full stop with everything they had. And we lived well in Ukraine and start from scratch in America. Very big deal. I call it a sacrifice. So, and we had to start from scratch here. But they did it because they truly believed this we'll be able to do, make our dreams come true. Really, it's what it is. It's America. That's why I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't agree more with the choice of your parents, and I'll definitely show this episode to my parents. Because that F-up that they did not coming to the U.S. when I was younger was a big mistake, I think. But also, I would like to mention that you were in the Bucovina, and these areas of Romanian communities are extremely well off. It's not like the rest of the country, which is, left over of that territory. So, what brings you in insurance, finance? It's a pretty risky business dealing with people. It's pretty tough to sell. Why?
Let's see, insurance. Well, to start off, just to go back on how we even got this opportunity, there, of course, was a Ukrainian war. It came by a major surprise to us, and we've witnessed this major trauma of going through hearing and seeing and not sleeping every day and trying to comprehend what's happening overseas to our family, while we are living our best life here in U.S., and there is not much that you can do to help them, and you're almost like in disbelief. You're like, I can't believe this. You're really. Anyway, so we started helping people overseas, helping, and it's just so much tragedy. It just requires, I'm trying to summarize it, but as we're helping them, we realized new laws started opening doors for the people of Ukraine to be able to come to United States. And first it was like really exciting news. Oh my goodness, that's a great opportunity. Let's bring them to safety temporarily. And sure enough, they are doing that. But then we're faced with another batch of issues, meaning they only are allowed to carry a suitcase or two, and that's all. And it's not easy to pack a suitcase when you're traveling and you have to abandon your home and whatever you had, and you have to decide what will go in that suitcase. So we had to accept these people fully traumatized, just with few belongings, and we realized there's a huge amount of help that is required here in U.S. And we started looking at donations, communities got together. There was an organization called Parasolka at Soul Church. They created every Saturday where all these people that had no idea what to do, where to start, where to apply, how to get situated. I mean, you have to start living here as well. Yes, too bad, too sad what happened there, but you still got to live. You have to feed your family. And sure enough, I had a wonderful best friend of mine, Alina Mukhopadhyay. I knew her for over now 20 years. And she came up to me, and she came up to me and mentioned, listen, there's this opportunity where the state is creating, there's a couple of programs that we could apply and possibly get approved, and we can offer assistance with housing and coordinating their health, and just a couple of programs. And I said, wow, you think we can do it, let's try it, but it sounds like maybe we're just, let's try it. So we went ahead, got some help, applied for programs called Call AIM, and which is a fairly new program in the States. It's launched about 2.5 years ago. Sure enough, we submitted everything needed. I had no idea this was going to be an approved process, I had no idea, but again, with God's help, everything got approved. They gave us this thick of a file of documents and said, here you go, granted, let's go. So then we said, oh my goodness, this is super exciting, but how do we now put this paperwork into service and help our community? We had no idea the size of it. We just said, we're going to help one person at a time. And that is how I ended up being in my insurance services. Originally, I do have a lot of real estate background. Since 2005, I do real estate. So I
could tell.
Yes, real estate. So I got multiple things that I'm working on. Then I met my spouse, and he's a major healthcare IT person, which I had no choice but to kind of get into that field as well, because there's a lot of talent we could bring to the table there. So. Let's see, real estate, and then my insurance, and then I am a parent. I have children, and balancing everything together, and between all the works that we have at our hands, my insurance is my favorite, because it's finally the time where I can give back in any way possible back to the community and help the people, because it's really hard to see them not do well when somebody's not doing well. So our job is to just kind of share the word, and if this is something that would help them, we prioritize and love to help.
Well, that's very interesting that you mentioned. When I had a conversation with Sergey, and he told me a story of a client of his that he came to Sergey's office and he said, I'm successful, I have money, I have a Porsche, I have a blonde wife, all this stuff, and then I want you to write about me. And Sergey asked, so what's your success? I'm like, well, I have the money, I have the car, I have the busty blonde and stuff like that. And Sergey says that we define success by helping community. And that's what you and your business are doing. And as I've learned, you're helping many communities. You're helping Afghani communities, you're helping the Ukrainians, you're helping, I think, Spanish-speaking.
Indian, and right. Spanish is next, yes.
Right. How did you build, or how did this expansion build? And what are the things that you help communities with? Could you please, share?
Yes, definitely. So originally, this whole idea started as like, oh my goodness, there's, it's Slavic speaking community, right? So we started, and I'll go into what exactly we do. We started helping them. Next thing you know, people from Russia are as well fleeing Russia. People from Belarus and surrounding countries that are impacted by the war that are as well ending up in Mexico, and then they're as well seeking help.
Right.
So then very slowly, we started noticing that there's a lot more people going through rough times and having, struggles, that it's not at all just the Slavic community. It was initially started at that. And then we came to find out there's Afghan community, and they're in so much need. There's even Indian, community as well that are struggling. So then we really realized, oh my goodness, I know we had a very small vision. It was just based on there's a need and we're trying to fill it. And then it was naturally expanded because, if we can help them, our model is we'll do it as long as there's the need for help. If there's no need for help, no problem, mission achieved, we're all set.
We're back. What does the company do, and how do you help these communities?
Wonderful. We provide housing assistance. There's a program called Housing Navigation, is where we navigate a member from the moment they just say, look, I'm looking for housing. I need help. I need to find a room, a condo, a house. And we have so we help them to get them housed. So that's one. Once they move in, we as well continue to stay with them after they move in to make sure there's no issues, because the goal is to see a success story with them, that they were doing not so well, we're able to help them, and then they're doing better at the end. Another program is enhanced ECM, it's called, but it's enhanced care management, which is coordinating their health. And doula, another one. So if they're pregnant and they need help from month 1 to after the delivery, there is a person who's going to be assigned to them and care for them on one-on-one basis. So I would say these are the main programs.
Right. Very interesting. So housing, you're helping those in need to find an accommodation, whether it's a room or an apartment or a house. And how is that you actually help them? Do you help them to look at Zillow, or do you help them with applications, with the money? What is that you do?
Great question. So they would come into our office, and we would make sure that first we create a care plan for them. We help them, because again, assuming most of them are going to be new immigrants, or if they're not immigrants, it could be anybody really. But most of our people that we're helping right now, let's say 80% are newly immigrants. So for them, they have a major cultural barrier. They do not understand even how to budget accordingly. So we start with like a plan of what the budget is for them, what areas they need, how, we just do a questionnaire. Once that is done, we assign them to one person that will, for the remainder of this phase, there's just one person assigned to them. It knows their case manager, we call them navigator, and they will go with you to the landlord, translate, make sure the lease is good, review the financials, make sure that you're not signing something that you're like, oh, sorry, I had no idea what I did. So again, we want to set them up for success, and we do go with them to see the place. A lot of the times, due to just language barrier and just not understanding the culture, unfortunately, a lot of people will not treat you the same. So we are the person to advocate and to make sure that they're treated right and they're doing the right thing for their family. And of course, if they qualified, there is an option where Medi-Cal will cover their first month's rent, last month's rent, and deposit. It comes in form of a check where we just pay directly to the landlord. And it, of course, helps them just get off the ground, focus on their, jobs and other things. And again,
So let's think of a hypothetical situation when there is an immigrant, you're helping them, they qualified, you're giving them that check, you're giving to the landlord. but something doesn't work well,
Right.
and they don't have the money to pay for the second month. So you have the first one covered, the last one, and the deposit. They cannot pay for the second one, the third one. They're coming back to you, and what's going to happen?
Yes. So definitely on our first initial meetings, we go over with them, hey, we do recommend that they don't be, let's say if they're earning $2,000, we're not renting a place for $1,800, right? So we do look at that. We do our best to prevent that situation from happening. However, there has been few cases where something like that happened due to tragedy. Our responsibility is just to really continuously guide them, connect them into the community, connect them to other organizations. We can definitely help with resumes. Again, as long as they're willing to work on it, and they would be needing to do that regardless, we're just that extra person, extra organization to really direct. And we do have a lot more resources to guide them through or refer them to. Like we have an agency, let's say if somebody lost a job, we work with a company that will say, you know what, we'll help you. It's their job to get them employed.
Okay.
If they're going through an abuse, we have another partner. If a lot of women, actually, believe it or not, we get at least 2 to 3 women a week that are going through major domestic abuse situations. So
Wow.
unfortunately, but there is more of an expert that we suggest them to. Or they need meals. Another option we offer is we refer them out to great meals. So let's say if there's something, they have a critical chronic condition, and let's say diabetes, simple, and we can prescribe them certain meals that are there to help them get better.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah.
Why? That's very interesting. How do you navigate them through all these things if, again, they're off the income? People are stressed out. They obviously, as you mentioned, a lot of them have trauma. And, well, yeah, if they're making $2,000, probably it's not the best idea to rent something for $1,800. Right. But also, we're in California.
Right.
I haven't seen anything below 2,000.
Yes, nothing under 2,000. Well, usually, again, there's more than one person in a household making, having a job.
What about the fresh of the boat? They just came, there's no income.
Yes, so those, we first definitely help them with making sure they have a stable job, right? Mm-hmm. And usually, at that point, they'll be living at somebody else's house, right? Or they're staying temporarily, their house temporarily somewhere. It could be shelters, it could be a friend's house, it could be somewhere. So again, at that point, we just work on getting them that first, again, it all starts with job, having a career. And if most of them are all really eager, they're looking forward to, working. So we don't have too many cases where they're just like, I need a housing. They do need to have some income in order to sustain the deposit.
Right, yes. What types of jobs do you help them to qualify for?
It would be totally based on what their skill set is, mm-hmm. and they can have no skill set or multiple skill sets. This is where we refer them to our other partner, and they will do the interview, identify their schedules, availability, and try to pair them up and match them up with a better, whatever fits. They will need to be making the next decision on the pay and if they like that job or not, but the options are there.
Okay. Now let's go to the healthcare.
Yes.
A lot of people, they would say that having insurance and paying for insurance, especially when people are decently young, is a waste of money. Would you agree with that?
Well, completely disagree. Again, insurance is required for anybody. I'm a big advocate for anytime you're in the U.S., insurance is a mandatory thing to have. I would strongly recommend everybody getting, you name it, start from life insurance and to regular car insurance, but you should be insured. What we particularly do is they already need to have Medi-Cal in order for us to help them. If they don't have Medi-Cal, but they're very new, they just arrived or they're figuring out how to even put themselves on Medi-Cal, we do have a department for that. So let's say if you don't have Medi-Cal and you're like, but I know I qualify, I'm having a situation in life, I definitely qualify right now. We will guide you through where to apply, how to apply. Once only you have the coverage, then we can request for approval to work with you. Only then we will provide service. And the service we're talking about is really, really mandatory, crucial, I find it, because anytime a person comes to America, they get confused and lost in the medical authorization process and how healthcare works. It's very complicated here. And if they have any medical condition and the time is very important for them to get treated, if they don't know who to, how the circle of life works in healthcare, it's really detrimental to their health. So our job is to meet them, understand what their health issues are, and help them get that care, get that appointment scheduled, advocate for them again. I mean, stories are endless of how, unfortunately, due to barrier of culture and English, next thing you know, they give them an appointment 6 months away. Well, that's not nice, but you can come in and really figure out what to do to get that person care ASAP.
Yeah. Plus, your company is a multilingual company.
Yes.
And you promised me to add Romanian to your...
We're going to add, yes. We had multiple Romanian members we've helped already, yes. And
I mean, members of your team.
Yes, and I do have one person, she does speak Romanian, Alani. She does speak fluently Romanian, so if somebody is speaking Romanian and you'd like some help, we'd love to help you.
Okay, we'll definitely have more Romanians coming, very hardworking people. You mentioned that you have some sort of program that helps people, for example, if pregnant or something like that. What are these programs? And an additional question would be, I've witnessed myself people having different types of physical injuries or traumas at work. So they can't work, they can't pay for their bills. Do you have any programs which would help people who lost their income due to a physical condition or an injury or even health issue?
Okay, so again, we work strictly with people or population that has to have Medi-Cal. So if whatever happened in their life, really whatever, as long as they qualified on Medi-Cal and they're already on Medi-Cal, then we can already say, okay, you have a broken leg, for example. No problem, let's check your eligibility, let's check if you qualify with all our qualifications, and then we can as well go ahead and help to, do the service for you that way. So yes, it's a yes. Now, but they need to be on Medi-Cal and they need to have one of those, providers that I...
So what is Medi-Cal and how do we qualify or not qualify?
So again, with Medi-Cal, you need to have an income, certain income for so many people, and a health condition. Basically, it all goes based off of income at the end of the day. So that would be more of a question for our medical intake specialists. Okay. They would know all the requirements. But mainly, if you don't know if you're qualified, you can call Medi-Cal or you can definitely call us and we'll connect you with the right person to check if you qualify.
What are the best ways of connecting and contacting your company?
Yes, great question. So we created these little QR codes.
We'll make sure to put them on the screen.
Yes, that's okay. So the QR code is designed for somebody who's like, you know what, let me just put in my name, phone number, email, language I like to talk to. Somebody in the office will get back to you. Or you can call the phone number. Usually we have multiple phone numbers. There's a main phone number for English or multiple other languages that we offer. And again, somebody will take your call and answer your questions. Again, check if you are eligible, explain to you some more detail, if this is a really good fit for you. And that is the best way to connect with us.
Right. You're located in Sacramento. I assume that you are mostly working with the communities in the North California?
Yes. So right now we're offering service in Sacramento, Placer, Yuba, Yolo County, yes, and El Dorado.
Okay,
counties.
So it's more of above Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Do you have offices in Silicon Valley, maybe
Not
South
yet.
California?
So not yet. Again, the way we were started off the ground was all about if there is a need, we want to be there to help that. So if somebody reaches out from Los Angeles or San Francisco and they say, you know what, we know there's a group of people who need help, can you do it? Then we're open to talking to them and being able to see how we can accommodate them. But we definitely could. But right now we're at our bandwidth locally, so we're always working on expanding our team and training more people. So if somebody's interested in helping other people and they have social experience, talent with customer service, definitely send us your resume.
Okay, and you have intentions or plans to open offices in South Cal?
That will be, yes, it's definitely, we've been asked multiple times, but we will get to it shortly. We don't know how soon, but it's definitely something coming soon, we could say.
Yeah, because like even when you mentioned Mexico and people are crossing the
Yes.
border, San Diego comes first, then you have
Right.
Orange County and LA. So it makes sense
Right.
to have your office there for sure.
Yes.
Okay, well, Alina, thank you for coming to the show and sharing with us. I think that we will stay in touch closely with you because you do bring a lot of help to the communities and not only Slavic, but the whole world basically.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your mission. And guys, you guys stay tuned.
Thank you.